Yo, what's going on? My name is Chris Gabo. This is episode 18 of the Chris Gabo Show.
18.
We made it. We made it. I'm here with my dear friends Chuck Dixon and Annalisa Velez. Once again, you know, I've been told that I have to introduce myself, which, hi, Mom. My name is Chris Gabo. I am a TV writer from Tampa, Florida, based in Hollywood.
Let's go.
I just wrote 1.5 episodes of the critically acclaimed Netflix series Mo for Netflix. Number 1 and 6. I had HBO overall for 2 years, consulting producer on The Idol, secretly original producer of The Idol, but you'll have to subscribe to the Patreon to learn more about that, among other things. Also, rapper and happily married man. Yo, we are here today. Today's a very special Thursday evening. We're gonna talk about. I want to talk about some technical music shit. I want to talk about some business music shit. We have. You guys are honestly two of the best music minds that I know on the business side. The other person that we have to shout out is Ebony Smith, who she's also one of the great music minds on the business tip. But, Chuck, we met through Carlos King.
Yes.
Who I met through my mentor, Dave Kutch. And so for y'all don't know who Dave Kutch is one of the great mastering engineers. He mastered Lemonade. He mastered Vince Staples' Summertime '06, Despacito. He has Outcast stories and shit. So I met Carlos through him. Carlos engineered one of my records called Elephant in the Room, out now, streaming on everywhere. And when I hit him up to come to the pod, he was like, I just had a kid. You should meet my boy Chuck. Yeah, and so shout out Carlos and his kid.
Culturally not single.
Exactly. And also today's the first day that we're live streaming. So just to everyone listening knows, we're going to be going live on YouTube and Twitch moving forward Thursday evenings or Thursday daytime if something bad happens to my evening.
Make no mistake, baby, you fucking with the best of them. My elevator cup will knock the snot about the rest of them. So if you doubt the kid got hard up in his chest pops, you got me fucked up like ex-cops and gem pop.
Don't touch that dial, cause there's nothing else on. You might just as well listen to
the next episode of the Gabo Show.
But so Chuck, would it be appropriate to call you an acolyte of Harmony Samuels, or a protege of Harmony?
I mean, I would say a mentee.
A mentee. Okay, you are a mentee of Harmony Samuels. And for those of us who don't know who Harmony Samuels is, who might not be in R&B, why don't you tell us who he is and a little bit of how you came to work with him? And then I would love to talk about your opening of ATB Studios and your music publishing company before we get into some other stuff.
For sure. Okay, so firstly, Harmony is a music producer from the UK. He produced a lot of artists like Chip. With myself, we worked with LMA. He's worked with Wretch 3-2.
Oh, that's so cool.
He has loads of credits. Craig David, that dates back to probably the late,
like real credits. That's what I want people to know.
Like in his beginnings of these things were in the golden age of R&B. And he was so cool. in my eyes the transition in between that 90s sound into that early 2000s.
Yeah, which is the best. Is the best sound, and it's all coming back. Hence Ella May, and
And so with his Georgia transitioning of that phase, he's really incorporated like sampling and all those things into his production.
Okay.
And so when he got out here, I think one of his biggest things that he's done before I actually got to him was Fantasia. He did Fantasia's album.
Yes.
And then he did Michelle Williams' gospel album.
Oh, interesting.
Right. And so
he has a very wide catalog.
Yeah. And so once he did Ariana's first album, that's when I got involved as an intern.
Ariana
Grande, right. And so
the big one.
Yeah, and that was
like the river
when she was when she was acting, doing the whole Disney thing.
Oh, interesting.
Right. And so while they were kind of working out her first album, I was going to the LA recording school. When I got to maybe the last 3 or 4 months of school, I started to kind of freak out. Like, oh man, like I've done all this driving out here. What am I going to do after school? Like, I don't want to just go back to work.
Yeah.
And so I got on, Craigslist at the time.
We
were watching.
Throwback.
I love these stories. This is why the origin stories are important, bro.
The OG.
We were watching Now You See Me. We were watching Now You See Me with my girl's family, and I was like, you know what? Let me get on, see if I could find something. I just typed in internships and was putting in a bunch of applications, but then I saw his, and I was like, okay, this might be cool. Let's see what this is. I've never heard of this guy before. And when I went to their website,
God is crazy. God is crazy.
I didn't know who he was.
Wow. That's crazy.
It gets even crazier. major. So
That's crazy.
So I'm like, okay, I'll go to this internship. I'll show up for the meeting, see what happens. I met with a young lady named Chelsea who was working with Harmony at the time. Shout out Chelsea. She ended up liking what I was saying. She liked my energy. She said, hey, can you come in next week? I said, of course. Now at this time, I'm really trying to get into improving my beats. I want to make sure that, because that's why I went to school. Like, how do I get my music to sound better than the radio?
Right.
And we know the radio doesn't sound the best, but I couldn't make it sound like that. So I'm like, how do I get better? So I went to school for it. At the time, I'm listening to some random instrumental CD. Like, this is around the time when people are starting to do the type beat type of thing.
Yes.
And so
people forget that wasn't always around.
Right. But then on that same playlist, there were actual instrumentals from released songs. And one of them was The Way by Ariana Grande. Wow. As I'm driving into the security gate of my first day of my internship, the Ariana Grande instrumental's playing. And I'm just like, dang, this kind of hard. What is this? And I looked at the phone. I saw Ariana Grande, The Way. And I'm like, oh, this is cold. Who produced this? Harmony came up. And I was like, wait a minute. And I looked at my email.
I'm dead.
And I was like, no, there's no way. I walked in there, bro. The first thing I saw was her plaque.
Oh, my gosh.
I said, okay. Yeah, something's going on, and I'm here for it. You know, so from there on, I was intern for about 2.5 years. You know, I'm sweeping the floor, picking up clients, dropping off clients, staying late, coming early.
Like a real internship.
Yeah, but then what it was is that because I wanted to be in that environment so much, I overstayed my welcome.
That's so real.
Yeah.
That's a word for a lot of like young cats who are like, oh, let me go work for this company for free. And it's like, yes, but at some point you have to let them value you.
No, I didn't go to work for free. I went to work for the experience. And because of that, I was able to see who was coming through, their body language, their energy, who's opening up the doors for the people, who's walking them out, who's making sure they're leaving the gate, how are they letting them in the studio, if the artist shows up, how long is he making them wait, why is he making them wait? And all of this time I'm like, okay, something's going on. I'm playing chess trying to figure out why. And there's not a why for everything, but for the ones that do have the why, I'm figuring it out.
Okay.
And eventually he starts to see that I'm kind of putting the puzzle together.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you know, we're going to be losing an engineer pretty soon. He's going to be working with his family. Would you want to step up? And I'm like, yes, of course. I'm not fast enough. I don't know all the buttons,
figure it out.
I'll figure it out. And that's when Carlos got involved. Our other engineer, Jose, shout out both of them. They both were like, hey, this is what you need to know. Practice this, talk to these people. This is how you, when you're not working, you should be studying. This is what you need to be studying.
When you're not working, studying.
Right. And so that's why I started to learn, like, okay, this is much more than what I'm seeing.
They're
investing a lot more into this. And I'm like, okay, let me really pay attention. And the more I watched, the more I learned, the faster I moved. Then I ended up, I'm fast forwarding a lot, maybe 5.5 years later, I'm head of A&R. So now I'm heading projects. We're talking to management teams. We're talking to labels. We're setting up mixer events. At this time, we're doing this thing called Bible study. So I'm getting different contracts, some studios, so we can have our shows there. Like it was a lot, really fast, but it happened so perfectly.
Let me ask you. First of all, this is a really, really beautiful story, and like I'm such a fan of your work, and I'm really excited to premiere one of the joints that with one of your artists in Liberia later on today. But I want to ask just two questions that come to mind. The first question I have is the LA Recording School. Like, would you recommend stuff like that for up and coming engineers? Because a lot of people now are going to YouTube Academy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But do you think there's still relevance in like a recording school like that?
So I take pride in the experiences that I'm having as opposed to just the physical things. Like when they gave me my diploma, I'm like, okay, great. Now I can show someone this, I guess. But I'm more so excited because I now can walk into a studio and know what each button does.
Okay.
I know how this relates to that and why that's here and why that shouldn't be there. And it just all makes sense. So for me, it's not necessarily what I'm taking away physically. It's more so me being more prepared. Totally. But to answer your question, yes.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
that's
in some cases, yes. In some cases, no. And I can explain more on that.
Please.
So, I almost didn't go to school for music, and that was because I went to another school. I won't say their name, but when they gave me the tour, when they gave me the tour, instead of it being like, okay, well, when you get to mastering, this is the room you're going to be using. Here's the equipment you're going to use. This is why you're going to be using that equipment. Also, when you get to production, you're going to be using this keyboard, this drum kit, that drum kit. And that's why I expected. We walk in there like, oh, here's the Icon. That's a $2.5 million board. That board costs so much that it costs more to fix it than it is to run it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. God. Next room. This room has a $4 million board. This room has a $2 million. I don't care what you spent.
Yeah, that's some bullshit that happens.
I'm not trying to buy that. I'm not a Guitar Center.
Yo, also Bad Bunny's making hits over here like on the fucking iMac 2.
Like, you know come on, like Gaultier made his record in his parents' living room. Like,
legit.
Bro, that's cool. Dr. Dre used that. Amazing. I can't wait to use that with Dr. Dre. I don't care what he pays to run that a year. That's not important to me. You know, like it was to me, it felt like they kind of leaned.
The previous school that you won't name. Got it.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and I felt like something just was off about that. And I just felt like it was more so like, hey, look at the glitz and the glamour rather than the education behind it. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do it. Then I had inquired at the LA Recording School. But I was so off put by the first school that when they called, I'm like, you know what? To be honest with you, I went on another tour. It kind of turned me off. I don't really want to be here. Like, I just feel like all of this is too much. I'll just learn it on my own. And the lady on the phone, I forget her name too. She was like, hey, just come in. I'll personally show you around. I will show you every room, and we won't even have to talk about the price.
That's so cool.
I said, okay, all right. I'll come out there.
That's so cool.
Right.
People like that change students' lives all the time.
And I almost told her no. I was just like, I don't even care. I just felt like it's superficial. There's no need.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I'm not going to have $2 million and go be like, oh, I want to buy that board for $2 million.
No, motherfuckers can barely afford like a fucking Apollo twin. You know what I'm saying?
I can't afford the studio time.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So
it's interesting because I remember. So I went to NYU for dramatic writing and acting, right? And afterwards, I felt like as a dramatic, you can't do that anymore. Yeah. It's a double conservatory, and now they're like you can't do that. It's illegal, which is good because I broke my brain. But afterwards, I felt like as a writer, I was good, but as an actor, I had nothing. And so I went to go. Similarly, I mean, it's obviously an acting school
another flex.
and a recording.
Here's another flex.
No, but so I went to go to check out this like non-academic acting program, right? That Sam Rockwell had studied that and all this shit.
Maggie Flanagan's.
And the Maggie Flanagan studio, shout out Maggie Flanagan. And but when I went there, I had a similar reaction where I was like, I hate this actually.
Yeah.
And I had to be talked into like for real applying because I just had a bad reaction to it because the thing I love education. All I do in my free time is learn shit and buy tools. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But like good teachers can change your life and bad teachers can fuck you up and bad institutions can fuck you up even more. Yeah. And with music, the reason why I really wanted to like zero in on this question for anyone listening who's considering a career in this, it's like there is just so much that you can learn on YouTube. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
true.
And yo, I'm a rapper who's tried to make every year. I try to make beats. Actually, it's right now we're in the holy month of Ramadan, and last year in Ramadan, I like kind of made a beat every day, but they weren't good. Right. And the thing is, I'm really, if I may say, I'm really good as a rapper. And so I was like, yo, I would never rap on this. I would not pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it took but I think that like, whenever I see a dumb guy make beats, I go, God damn it, I'm not dumb. Yeah. I should be able to do this. I see dumb guys engineering all day, every day. I'm sure you do too. We will not name them. But so I'm like, okay, do I need to go to the LA recording school? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that, or is there, if you're, and again, like you're pursuing, I mean, you have a career, right?
Yes.
As an engineer and a producer, right? I have a career as a TV writer trying to have a career in music, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, but it's on the artist side, right?
Yes.
And we're in this era now where like, I used to think, I don't even have to know how to engineer. I don't even need to know the fundamentals because ultimately I'm going to make my money in TV, knowing this thing that I know, then pay you to do it.
Right.
But I realized that like, you can't demo, you can't go to Nightbird and Westlake you can't afford it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So you're going to this year I was like, I have to like learn to engineer a little bit. Right. Yeah. And so sometimes I do think I look past the LA recording school and I'm like, should I do 6 months there? Should I do a summer program there? Or do you think that like, and again, these are kind of two different questions. One is for someone who's pursuing a career in engineering and production. And another one is for someone who maybe like me and Annalisa, who were like, and Annalisa, by the way, is a very good vocal producer. I just learned this the other day. Okay. But we're not like big technology people. You know, is that fair to say?
Yes. Something that I'm kind of, I don't know. It's interesting what you come up with when the room is warm. And when people are inviting and like actual collaborators, I think it brings out the best in people. So normally if I'm breaking my brain about something, but now I'm able to do the thing that I want to do, it just opens up space for it.
And this is why, even though like I don't think anyone in my lifetime will pay me to engineer, right? But I do think I need to learn some engineering shit, is because, you know, like the last record I did, shout out Richie Beretta, also a friend of Dave Kutch's, incredible mixing engineer, incredible producer. We have 8 songs together that's coming out, the Bad With Money EP, hopefully in June. But like look, if I can go to San Diego to record with him, then it's amazing. And we have the best sessions ever. But I have ideas every day. I live in Los Angeles. So I'm like, and the thing about music, how it's different a little bit than like, you know, film writing or TV, is like movies take years to make. Songs take seconds, minutes, days, the initial impulse. And so I'm like, yo, if I'm sitting here fucking worrying about a latency issue, which for people who aren't listening from the Hollywood side, latency is when I go, hey, and then 3 seconds later he goes, hey, and guess what? For rapping on beat, that is not a good thing, right? So if I'm dealing with that, I want to throw myself out of the 30-story window. You know what I'm saying? So like I am trying to learn stuff like that, but I guess I would love to hear your advice for any artist who's in that position. Because again, back in the day, I mean, dude, I was watching the Stax documentary recently, and like, you know a little bit about Stax Records?
No.
So Stax Records, you know, a pivotal record label in the industry, and like when they were first starting, it was because they were the only like microphone low key in the city. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's, you know, back in the day, like that's what was going on. So you were like, people were, part of the reason why you were getting the best town in the town is because, hey, you have the only fucking microphone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now everyone has access. I feel like we say this with our buddy Reef all the time, who you should meet, incredible engineer and producer. We're like, we always say that like LA is just a sea of Apollo twins. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But I wonder, like, if you were to give advice to someone maybe on our end of things who like is trying to learn the fundamentals of engineering so they could at least get the ball rolling for themselves and shorten the time between wrestling with technology and getting the idea out, what would you say would be the best way to learn those fundamentals?
So I think what happens is a lot of people, let's say an artist, for example, I decide, hey, today I'm for sure an artist. I'm going to make a song a day, but I only have my laptop. Okay. Do you have a friend who has a laptop? Yeah. Do you have a friend who records his music from that laptop? Yeah. Can you ask that friend what they're using to record on their laptop? So it's like, you know, okay, so I reach out to Chris. Yo, Chris, man, I know you be rapping every day, man. I want to set up a studio at my house. How do I do it? Now I have a resource. You can tell me, oh, I bought the Apollo Twin and a microphone. Look, this is the deal I got. You get the same deal. So now I'm on Sweetwater. Oh, I didn't know Sweetwater was a website. Just learned something new. Now I'm getting the bundle. Hey, they sent me these headphones and this thing. I don't know. Does it go in front of the microphone? Now you're learning your equipment. The whole point is, if you don't have it or know how, reach out to whoever's around you that's doing it, so that way you can get the inside scoop. If you don't know, like you said, YouTube, everything's on YouTube. The problem is, we think that if I'm going to do it by myself, I have to be the one that sets it up. I have to buy the equipment. I have to learn how to record. I have to. Sometimes it's really about just reaching out saying, hey, can you help me out with this?
Right.
That's helped me out in so many ways. I've gotten free equipment. I've learned how to use the equipment that I have. I've learned what equipment I don't have or I don't need, or I'm learning something from someone who has experience. If I don't have you, I have YouTube. If I don't have YouTube, I have Google. If I have Google, I have the Guitar Center. I'm just going to go ask questions.
That's a hack. Go to Guitar Center because all those motherfuckers are producers.
They're all there.
Bro, I bought
They make them there.
Yo, literally, I bought an MPC from a guy, and you know, he was like, follow me on Instagram, and then I hit him, and I was like, yo, you want a link, have a session? He's like, son me. And I was like, bro, I'm going to go back to Guitar Center. Like, excuse me, you won't send me a beat pack for me to consider, bro? Come on, I was going to
but like, that's such a word, because I think we live in such a culture where everybody thinks they have to know everything all the time, and just almost, it's so refreshing to hear someone be like, just ask for help.
There's no shame.
It's so good.
There's no shame.
Is there, like, you know, it's okay if there's not an answer to this, but I'm just thinking, like, from an engineer's perspective, because when I look up, if I'm like, okay, recording rap vocals in Logic, I just type that exact sentence into YouTube, right? But are there any, like, you know, YouTube engineer type cats that like you would recommend that are like not bullshit?
I mean, okay, so like when someone asks me who's my favorite rapper, I'm starting to get to the point of where I'm comfortable saying no one. because each time I say, "Oh, this is my favorite," they do some bullshit, and I'm
shout out to Baby.
Yeah,
like, I don't know if you're my favorite no more. But then I go back and listen to their first album, and I'm like, "Oh, that's why they're my favorite." It's like, no, they have a favorite album of mine. So I don't have a favorite artist. I don't have a favorite YouTuber. I think everyone, if you have an experience, then you have a truth. Then you can tell your truth, whether it is the truth or not. It's your truth. So
taking me to church.
so I think if you're able to kind of splice information and figure out the right questions to ask, you'll get the right answer and you'll speed up the process that much faster. Like right now, and I hate to say it, but Chat GPTs, things like that.
Bruh,
we think like, oh, let me go on there and type in, oh, when is the earth gonna blow up? I'm not here to, I don't care about that. I want to know, if I use this type of cable on this gear, would it eventually get too hot to where I can't leave the room and it'll blow up? Okay, cool. So I can use that cable. All right. For this machine, can I make this run into that? How do I sample this? Practical things like that gets you a long way rather than trying to wait for the answer or you searching for it in the wrong place. Sometimes it's right there. You just got to know to ask that particular question, and you have to ask the right person or machine or whatever the case is, but to not get too lost in the information. Go for what you need and apply it, and then go back for more information.
Word up. That's extremely helpful. And honestly, that wasn't even for the podcast. That was for me.
Yeah.
Wait, Chuck, do you mentor anybody?
No, I've never mentored.
I'd like to introduce Annalise Velez, the first Chuck Dixon mentee.
Dude, I think you sound like a great leader.
Thank you.
And I think whoever's in your sphere that maybe needs a little, like, definitely do it, because I think you have a lot to teach and to offer.
Yeah,
you might be mentoring us.
No,
so you just opened ATB Studios LA in Hollywood on Santa Monica and Western, right? You guys are open for business.
Oh, we're open.
Tell us about that. Tell me about the project. Tell me about the opening of the studio.
For sure. So, well, firstly, I'm the studio manager for Culture Jam. Okay. Culture Jam Co. Shout out Andrew Beckner, CEO, founder. That's my boy. I met him working through another artist, Points. This is an artist that I worked with when we were working with Ariana Grande. He's worked with Fantasia. He was on the Michelle Williams album. We did a Janet Jackson single rollout with him. I've known him since I've been an intern at BOE, and we're still good friends now. When I started ATB, he was the first person to say yes to doing a collaboration with me.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
He was the first one to send the files back. It was crazy. Shout out Points. I forget the question.
No, no. I just would love to know about ATB Studios.
Got it. So with Culture Jam being the overarching umbrella of the operation, I have a studio in that building. We have seven different studios. My studio is ATB Studios LA.
Got you.
Cool.
Right. And so he's provided the space for me. I was able to get in there. We have everything set up. I'm on the phone all the time hitting up clientele. Like, yo, if you don't have the budget, let's work and we'll figure it out on the back end.
That's really cool.
When people hit me up like, oh man, I met you 5 years ago. We were doing so and so. What are you doing now? Yo, I'm working with this artist. We need beats. I just had a session with a country artist, Sapphire Blue.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't know how to play the guitar. I've never done country. I've never engineered country. But what did I do? I reached out to someone that I knew that did.
Yeah.
Hit up my boy Jay Hansel. He's like, yo, bro, I got you, man. Soon as I played him the demo, he's like, I know exactly what to do. He's sending demos back and forth to me.
That's amazing.
So as he's teaching, I'm learning and I'm translating to the artist. And even that right there is a whole job. But doing that allows me the space to know that, okay, ATB will work. This can work, provided by, Culture Jam.
And if someone wants to get in touch with you to book a session, how do they get in touch with you?
Instagram's the fastest way. Audio Chuck, AUDIOXUCK. Please make sure you put the XUCK.
I'm glad we asked you to spell that shit, because that is not how I would have spelled that.
No, because if you spell it the right way, it's going to take you to a criminal podcast. They bought my handle, so they're the original Audio Chuck, which was mine, but I was like, I can use some money.
I can relate to that, because the other day I was like, who the fuck owns the Chris Gabo Instagram? It's I can't even find out who it is, but that's why I'm at Chris Gabo on everything, because Chris Gabo is owned by somebody else.
Yeah, it'll mess up your whole brain.
Hey, give me a call, buddy. I'll make make you an offer. So they can hit you up on Instagram for that. And so one thing that I want to talk about after the break is, Annalisa and I, we actually met in the theater world, right? As actors and playwrights, right? Back in the day in New York. We're both actually from Florida, but we play New Yorkers on TV. So that's like really what it is.
Yeah.
But we, lately, we've been teaming up with our homie Ebony Smith and our homie Reef Loretto, who's opening up his. We should have you come by and do a session there. We should also come to your spot. I would love to next time we're on the pod tell people our experience of your studio.
Got it.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think is a pivotal part of both of our journeys right now is like trying to figure out like how do you find an artist's vocal tone? You know what I'm saying? For the genre, for their voice, for their clarity. And I'm gonna ask you some questions about that after the break. But first, I want to make a little announcement here because we have a sponsor. We did not have a sponsor on the last episode. And now we do, and it's actually ill because
Spirit,
Three Spirit. Shout out John Brown who brought this to my table literally. And we're gonna taste a little bit here today. Annalisa, if you wouldn't mind opening that up. So for those who don't know, Three Spirit is a non-alcoholic spirit. So it's actually perfect for the month of Ramadan. Perfect for anybody who has to drive back to the valley. And does not want to drink. So let's try this real quick. I've tried the nightcap. I like that quite a lot, but I have not tried this one. So we're gonna do some live tasting. Thank you so much, Chuck. I'm excited too. I also I haven't broken my fast today. Today Maghrib was at 7. Yeah, this is it. Breaking with the Spirit.
That's a great name.
This is cheers, you guys.
Cheers to new relationships.
To new relationships. Brought to you by Three Spirit. Yes, ma'am. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, this is good.
That's really nice.
It's actually good.
Hell yeah.
Spirits,
oh, wow.
Free Spirit.
It's like spicy, you know what I mean? Because that's, because early.
That's the tagline, no?
Well, because that's when people say, like, well, how do you make something feel.
Linear, energized, juicy, fiery.
Well, so when,
That's nice.
One of the things that, I think a lot of people in our generation right now are thinking about is like how to have ceremony without having to, to be outside of yourself in a way that's, involving narcotics or alcohol or whatever. And like, I do think it's important and not kidding at all, not even because it's SponCon. Yeah. Like, I think that, please. I think it's important to, for people to have a non-alcoholic option for shit. And again, it is Ramadan, so this is perfect.
The cal count is very low.
Say that into the mic.
It's very low for my gym.
Thank you. You gotta say that into the mic, babe. You're not saying it into the mic.
Okay, wait, guys. So the calorie count is only 40, which is amazing. 40. And the sugars, hold on. The sugars is only 8. Yo, this is actually gym rat friendly. I am actually Yes, Three Spirit is coming for the gym rats and the Muslims,
yo. Right. Check out Three Spirit in your local 24-hour fitness.
The cal count is only 40 and the Planet sugars Fitness is 8. Like you are are making your micros. You're not busting your. I'm excited about.
Yo, Annalisa, I'm about to hire you. I'm about to visit. Yo, so as we imbibe this Three Spirit, I want to let the audience listen to an artist that is your artist. You manage this artist and also produce this artist, right?
He produces himself.
Oh, okay.
So the music that you hear him on, he's actually making that.
Did you engineer this record?
I did not. He did everything on it.
Okay, so here's your artist, and
he's under my publishing company as well.
Got it. Oh, which is that's ATB Music Publishing, and so ATB Music Publishing is linked to the studio in terms of like under the umbrella.
Yes. So the studio completed the circle for me to where I can. Let's say I meet you on the street. I just hear you rapping out of nowhere. You decide,
as you should.
Yeah, you just spitting bars. I'm like, yo, you ever made a song? I'm like, no, I never been to the studio. What are you talking about? Take you upstairs. Put on a beat, like, yo, this is crazy. Put you in the booth, spaz out. 10 minutes later, we got a record. Shoot some content on the spot. I hit up the distribution company. We can put that record out. Now, I utilize my network to bring in either producers, music videographers, any content people we need, editors. Everyone comes in. We all figure out what the vision is for the project. And we can literally build all of that through ATB. And so everything that I learned at BOE under Harmony, I'm now utilizing through ATB, basically utilizing all the services that I've learned that way.
So you're a one-stop shop.
Basically, yes.
That's amazing.
The only ATB Publishing is a part of that.
Yes.
Got it.
That's amazing, Chuck.
So this is an artist called X Vibes. This song is called Soldier, and let's check this out. I've already heard the song, but this is a beautiful,
Shout
beautiful
out
record.
X Vibes.
X Vibes is from Liberia.
Yes.
Would you classify this music as Afrobeats?
I'll say Afro soul.
Oh,
Word.
cool.
Hell yeah. All right.
Cool.
You know.
Let's check it out.
The whole idea about your environment must be represented in the music, in the arts. So really, art is what is happening at the particular time of a people's development or underdevelopment. See.
I got reason to fight, I got reason to lead. I got famine on feet, I got pills in my head. I put a smile on my face every day cause I know one day things gonna be alright. Never ever feel this hard. So, tell me you don't listen, I got you. Tell me you don't, I want to. Body on and buy out, this is one food. Look at my gun too, I'm a one soldier. Baby, I'm a one man soldier. Baby, I'm a one man soldier. I wish my beat this. Mosquito on my back, I can sleep at night. Stabbing in this place, wiggly ball on my side, me I must survive. Me I never sober. So many baku talk. Anything they say, me I don't give up. Fully right over. I got me cooking must spot. I finished that man thing, I couldn't over it. Tell me you don't listen, I got you. Tell me you don't, I want to. Body on and buy out, this is one food. Look at my gun too, I'm a one soldier. Baby, I'm a one man soldier. Baby, I'm a one man soldier. You can never make it. Money is everything. Money is everything.
So
That was the song Soldier by X Vibes. That's a beautiful, beautiful record.
Yes, XBBZ.
Does he ever come into LA?
He's never been out of Liberia as far as I know.
Well, the first stop will be ATB Studios and then the
Yeah.
Chris Gabo show
That
when he's
would-
back in town.
1000%.
So before we get into the vocal tone conversation, you were telling me a story off mic about how this came to be, this relationship.
Yeah.
'Cause where are you from?
So I'm from California, originally born in Las Vegas. So
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah,
that
born
is
in Vegas,
nowhere
grew up
near
here.
the fuck to Liberia. So
Yeah.
I want you to explain how the fuck this shit happened. Come on.
Okay, so outside of the music hustle, the grind, obviously I have to fund my life somehow.
We all do.
We all know that just because you do music don't mean you get paid to do music.
Sensitive subject between me and my wife, but yes, more soon.
So outside of doing the music and all that, I'm a dishwasher or was a dishwasher. And at the time, before I met X Vibe, this is maybe a year before I even knew he was alive. There was a guy who, came up, who was working there, and he was just singing randomly one day. And I'm listening to music in one ear, and in the other ear, I'm just available to whoever's around me that needs my attention. But I hear someone singing, and I'm like, wait a minute, who is that? And I turn around, and it was him. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a singer. I want to do music, but I don't have a producer. I don't have beats. I don't have a studio. I don't know how to record.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, if you singing like that, I could do all of that and
Right,
more.
right.
And he's like, wait, what are you talking about? So I gave him my rundown, a quick rundown, like, oh, I was working in the recording studio. I've learned how to do all of these things, and I've shown him examples of what I've done in the past. And, he was like, oh, I think this guy's serious. He was like, yeah, let's set up a session. I booked a studio out here in Hollywood. Shout out The Watch. Got him in there. He was amazed by it. Slid him some beats from some of the producers I worked with.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience. And I found out through that experience that he had just come from Liberia not too long ago.
Wow.
Right. And he was born here, but grew up in Liberia and returned here.
Wow.
I feel like he's an American Liberian,
Okay.
but he's a Liberian at heart. I'll say that.
Okay.
And this artist I'm talking about is Corey Soul. This is an artist that I've also begun to manage as well. But through meeting him, he introduced me to X Vibes. He's like, hey, you know, there's a guy I grew up with. We're basically brothers.
Love that.
You know, I believe X Vibe was the one who got him into music.
I love
and they
that.
both started to kind of, you know, bounce off of each other. And then I came across X Vibe, had a call with him through WhatsApp. And he's like, oh man, you know, I definitely would love to work with you. You know, you have the publishing company. I hear you have studios that you work in.
That's
like,
dope.
I would love to just see what we can do.
That's so
You know,
dope.
fast forward about a year and a half later, you know, we put out maybe 4 singles, gearing
It's a
up to
lot.
put out a couple more.
Yo.
So
Yeah.
many artists are like, I do this, and then they just never get back to you.
Right.
So that's so cool.
Yeah, no,
It's
he's
also
serious.
really interesting. First of all, it's a very beautiful story, and I'm thank you for sharing it on the show. And you know, it's interesting when I heard Liberia, you know, because you know my initial conception of this show, and I'm still trying to put these two things together, is like, you know, like the two sort of worlds that I come from are sort of like leftist political theory, and then like, you know, hip hop shit, and then obviously like my job is Hollywood, but it's sort of like these are the three things that I'm like kind of trying to talk about. And so it's interesting, like when I hear Liberia, it's interesting of all the countries, right, in the continent that you know, that I know a couple of things about, right? When I hear about music, it tends to be out of Nigeria, right? Or not, you know, my wife is Sudanese. There's a lot of music out of Sudan, but Liberia has a very interesting history, right? Because it's a country in West Africa that was founded by free people of color from the United States, right?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That's what I was doing. I wasn't trying to. I was doing a quick Google to make sure I was right because I didn't want to be the.
Oh,
you know,
interesting.
Yeah. So it was founded by, you know, recently freeborn and emancipated people previously enslaved from the
Dude,
United States,
what?
right? So yeah,
know
I
that,
just
so.
I was just
Both
looking that
learned
up.
something
And,
about
Got
that.
at least a lesson here. Okay.
no, and this is the thing, right? Is like I'm trying to like put these worlds together and just, we don't have to get into it, but I was like, oh shit, I don't think I've ever heard an artist from Liberia, right?
That's
and
awesome.
and the record is beautiful, really, really beautiful, and like, so who mixed that record?
So that X Vibes did all the engineering. He produced it, wrote it. He has a few people that he works with every now and again, but he's a blockbuster artist. He
What?
does everything. Yeah.
Is he doing shows out in
Sounds
Liberia?
Clean.
So since I've been working with him, he's done 2 shows, but they weren't major shows.
Well, how many people?
I would say each room maybe had 30 people.
Hey, that's something, man.
Yeah, no,
In
it
Liberia?
definitely is something. It's
I've
definitely something.
performed to less, so
Yeah,
cheers.
Definitely, I
Yo,
believe.
I
because
remember-
I've done the same.
Dog, I played. I
done the
remember
same.
the thing that really put hair on my chest as a touring artist when I was a kid was I played in a cathedral for one person, bro.
The show must go on, darling.
And I fucking killed it.
The show
I was
must go
like,
on.
I was like, throw your motherfucking hand. I was like going crazy. And here's the thing, you check it out. So before literally, I got there. There was supposed to be other artists on the bills in Baltimore. Supposed to be other artists on the bill, and they didn't show up. And then basically, like, I'm just.
Oh, you had a whole set then.
I had an hour, right?
you were ready.
And I was like
no, you're
lounging,
good. That's
and
a
then
concert.
literally,
concert.
they tapped me on the shoulder. Was like, the sound guy was like, "Hey, bro, you don't have to play." And I was like, "What the fuck do you mean?"
I'm a
I
theater
came
kid.
from Tampa, Florida,
Right.
bro.
Right.
And then one person showed up. His name was Easy. Shout out Easy Jackson
Oh
from the
my
band Soul
God.
Cannon, who
Easy
actually,
Jack.
yeah. And he's
Beautiful.
raps his ass off. And it turned out we built a relationship from then because it was one guy, and I went,
love
I'm
that.
gonna look this guy in the eye, and I'm
In
gonna
the-
rock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rock my 54-minute set as an unknown artist.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's going on? Make some motherfucking noise!" And it was just him, bro. And I was like,
Easy
Yo, it was
Jack,
crazy,
where
bro.
you at?
And
I
then-
can't wait to buy you a ticket, bro.
yeah, he has a really incredible. Actually, I wonder if they're still. I'm sure they're still making records. Soul Cannon, but anyway, it's
It's amazing.
it's really interesting. I've wanted to go to the continent to play a show for a minute, and like, you know, one of the things that people don't understand about like touring is like the way you be on tour is by just deciding that you're going to be on tour. Yeah. Like I used to, bro. Okay, real quick tour story also about Baltimore. Baltimore's a great city. I love, because they used to tell me, they were like, if you suck in Baltimore, they will throw bottles at you. So my number one thing was that no one ever threw a bottle at me, right?
Okay.
Wait, like proper.
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
That's
they say the same thing about
They didn't
Philly.
throw nothing.
Yeah. No, literally, yo. So here's what happened. So the way I used to book tours is on MySpace, right? I used to find, because check me out. I had an intern, bro. You know I had an intern.
It was you.
No. I had like an intern. Her name was. Her name was
I've
Kira.
definitely had that email.
No.
Assistant at Analisa. Like.
Escúchame bien.
Okay.
Her name was Kira Martin. Actually, I wonder where she's at. She was really dope.
Kira.
Yeah. She was my
good? Come work
intern.
with
I
us.
taught her how to like, basically. Because I was like, I had like a 70-person draw in Tampa, Florida, right?
Wait.
What?
You basically had a business when you were a kid.
Yes.
It always because it always comes back to this with you. You're you're a great business person.
I appreciate it. I never really thought of it that way, but I appreciate it.
That's so
And,
Latino of you having an intern at like 12.
Yo,
Dude,
but the
go
way we
away.
used to do it was I was
double
like,
his age.
here's
No,
the
literally.
I think she was like, so everybody can like anyone can post music, but not everyone can get someone out to a show.
Yes.
Right.
Very true.
So what I would look for is I was like, okay, if I have a 70-person draw in Tampa that I can count on, right? Then I look for. I'll go to like I'll be like, okay, Baltimore, right? What are the venues that like are 150 cap, right? Who's opening at those venues, right? Because that means they're like a little bit smaller. And then I would go to their MySpace and be like, all right, do they post show flyers? And if they post show flyers around that time, do people actually seem to be there? Okay, fine. So then I would hit them up and be like, hey, I'm an artist from Tampa, right? I would love to play in Baltimore. I'd love to do a show trade with you, right? And so here's the thing. I would say you can come play for my audience of 70 people if I can go play for your audience of 70 people. But people would rarely ever take me up on it. But knowing that they wanted to take me up on it, they would book a show for me, right? And then I would just go do the same thing every city from like Gainesville to fucking, Idaho. Actually, I played Iowa City a lot.
You're a hustler, bro.
Appreciate that.
Ground up.
And so one time, there was this guy. I won't say his name. His name was...
Just want to make sure.
Don't say the name.
No. But here's the thing.
My
so
Lord.
I was like, oh, okay. So we booked. Let's say it was like August 15th, right? And he was like, yeah, I got you a show on August 15th. Perfect. I'm routed through there. I'm routed through Baltimore from Tampa, Florida. So you have to,
You
fulfill
have
if you're under
to.
the bargain,
Yeah.
right?
Or else you're a
so then
jerk.
one day he stops answering my calls.
Oh.
And then on MySpace he posted he's doing a show August 15th with somebody else, and then just stops answering. And I went, well, guess what? The doors open at 6. I'm gonna show up at 4:30. So I drove to Baltimore, and then I went, "Yo, Trace, what's going on, baby?" And he was like, he thought he saw a ghost, bro. And I was like, "Thank you so much for having me." And I just told the sound people, I was like, "My name is Chris Gabo, blah blah blah." All this. Actually, I had a different rap name at the time, and I played. And I just played my set.
Yo, that's gutsy, bro. And I feel like,
especially in Baltimore,
Like.
that's gutsy as hell, but I think you have to have that.
Yeah.
you
have
to be a little
to have
crazy.
that in music. Yeah, you do. You do.
You have to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
I think
Just
you're
a
right.
little.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, but it's like,
That's gutsy,
again,
man.
part of the way to be at that time, and this was like I don't know, how old are you, Chuck?
36.
Yeah, do it. Yo, these are the two
Don't.
people that I'm not gonna ask you.
Don't
These
you
are the
dare.
two people that don't want to tell me how old they are. Anyway, I'm 34 years
That's
old.
it.
I was.
It's nobody's business.
It's no one's
Be
business.
careful
No,
about stuff,
the only reason I was
His resume
asking.
speaks for itself. Jesus.
You're like,
What does my age matter?
Right.
What does it matter? I have an intern.
Right.
yeah.
In a diaper.
No, literally.
An intern.
Most Latino thing ever. Oh my
Listen,
God.
no, but the reason I ask is just generationally, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would have called those years sort of the like indie rap heyday, right?
Yeah.
Where like rappers were like, and again, obviously there are simultaneous things happening in the pop realm. That was, those were the Shady Aftermath days, the G Unit days, you know what I mean? The Ludacris, like all kind of those. But on the lower level, right? Do you know who Atmosphere is? Does that name mean anything to you? See, you guys weren't in this scene. This is a scene that was kind of out of Minneapolis, actually, which is another big music city. I mean, shout out Prince on the sort of, top line level. But there was, Atmosphere was a rap group out of Minneapolis that had like a label, and then they had a little, they basically like, ran a couple of venues there, and they also had like a festival there, right? Okay. And the whole thing was that they were like, there was kind of this overlap. Yeah, it was kind of a business model, right? Because
They were doing it before everybody was doing it.
exactly,
Yeah.
and so everyone was like, it was a more. I mean, obviously they were selling records and
movement.
stuff. It was a movement, and it was kind of a thing that I was like, I wasn't super like, I got a little tapped in, but more I was trying to imitate it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And at the
Great
time,
artists
like,
do, yeah.
I was just trying to like make it out west,
Right.
That's why I would play Iowa City a lot. I think it was called the Blue Moose. I would
Dude,
play.
how did you have this whole other life? Like, were you
This
going
was-
to school? Like, it's so interesting to me because like, I went to an art school my last couple of years in high school, and I didn't have a life. If you were a theater kid, you didn't have a life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, when did you go on these magical trips, these tours?
Well, on the spring,
I just think it's so
spring
cool.
break, summer break, weekends. And here's the thing, my parents.
And your parents totally believed in you because
too much.
Nah, because
they lent me the minivan.
My mom was like,
Did they?
Sienna minivan. Yeah.
He didn't even
2001.
steal the family car.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
His dad
my
was
dad
like,
drove me because I was on tour before I could drive. Really, so like my dad drove me on some of them.
What? You were touring as like,
dad
dude,
was the
that's
roadie,
just
yeah.
that is
That's
so
crazy.
gutsy, and I think that's where you are now because it takes guts. Like when you walk in a room, I think that I don't want to say chutzpah, but that like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is like
I appreciate it.
That rapper in you
You
is
got that nerve.
yeah.
You got the nerve.
That's
You built a lot of nerve as a kid.
Right.
Yeah. Like what
dude,
you would be
what?
nervous at as a normal person, you've already broken
Done it
that barrier.
at 12 with an
With
intern.
an intern, right? The intern helped them. Don't worry,
Dude,
don't worry, little Chris.
So you
I got
had ChatGPT before it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
No,
Legit.
because you're kind of it's interesting because I don't think you think of yourself like this, but I think you're kind of a visionary. And it's kind of like similar to me where I've done the things 10 years before it happened. And so
I've
bored
always said
of
that
it.
about you.
Yeah.
I've
Do you
always
know
said
what I'm
that
saying?
about
And
you.
so
Yeah,
like
you've
when people
done
are like, you should do this thing. I'm like, oh, I did that for about 4 years straight. And
Right.
nobody,
School for Legends.
Nobody cared.
School for Legends,
Right.
bro.
You know what I mean?
Right. So now
And
I
I'm
don't
like,
care.
oh, do it. And I'm like, okay. But
Yeah.
it's, it's interesting.
Dude, your School for Legends events in New York were like that was presaging a lot of stuff.
No,
You know what
it's
I mean?
gonna, I'm gonna do it here.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
And it really is. Chuck, one of the other things that I wanted to. It's funny, like I felt this. I had a feeling about these people being together because it was like, when you're talking about like how the stuff happened with X Vibes, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are about relationships, right? Music and all art is about like. You have to take a chance on people. You took a big chance being, you know what I'm saying? And like Annalisa and I,
You're very
again,
generous.
Yeah.
And I want to say that about you. I'm so sorry to cut you
No,
off, but
please.
every story you've told, you're like, oh, so and so, and then I brought them over there, and then somebody, and then I brought their friend in, and I'm just like, damn, like God's been so good to you because you've just been so generous, and you were never like, oh, this is mine. Only I'll get a gold record out of this.
Right.
It's like, yo, let me bring everybody in here.
Right. No, legit. That's
good music.
Probably the reason why I try to do so well by people is because the more I can do for you,
Totally.
the more you could do for me
That's a
or someone
word.
else outside of that can
That's a
see
word.
and inspires that.
This is a guiding
It
ethos.
trickles.
A guiding ethos that comes
Yeah.
from my dad that I like think of as a sort of a guiding words of this podcast shit is that like, it is selfish to be selfless. You know what I'm saying? It's actually like, even if like you're not doing it in a strategic way, like it actually works out for you in the end.
Yeah.
Cause I say like,
Totally.
hey, if you go around fucking other people over and then you get to the top, you're like, now there's 100 people who hate you and can't wait to knock you down.
Yeah.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
opposite is also true. If you're blessing people, and you get there and you're like, oh, like, if it's between me and that guy, choose that guy. Because I remember what he did for me
Totally.
in 1942.
Right.
That's J. Cole.
Right.
Any interview, any artist is like, oh yeah, J. Cole, and J. Cole was my mentor, and I'm like, how many people could he possibly
Dude,
mentor?
yeah.
You know that
It's
Mac Miller.
amazing.
You know that Mac Miller taught Vince Staples how to rap.
I'm sure.
I
You know what I'm
But I
saying?
mean,
I
but
can
that's
understand
but
that.
that's
I
but
can
that's hip
understand
hop,
that.
and that's actually like one of the staples of it. You are supposed to mentor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like mentorship is just actually so important in the arts, and I don't know if it's like this lost form, but we need to.
Well, you know what it
Yeah.
is? A lot of things that like sometimes things are indistinguishable between mentorship and friendship.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Like,
okay,
you know what I'm
that's a
saying?
word. That's a word.
Because
That's a
it's
word. That's a
horizontal.
word.
Like I feel like you're mentoring me about business shit. You know
That's so
what
funny.
I'm saying?
And I feel like you're mentoring me on some MC stuff. So.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say, but I appreciate it.
Relax. Horn talent. Relax.
I got to rap in the boom bap. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
Thank you. No, but really, like I think Reef is mentoring all of us. You're gonna
Oh
be
my
Reef is gonna be
gosh.
the shit, and Ebony.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
So real, it's funny because I want to keep talking about this, but I do want to let me do 5 seconds on vocal tone because I think it's important for the people to hear.
Chuck is
and
here.
Then,
Chuck is
yeah,
here.
he is here.
questions though.
No, because like it is vocal tone is a thing that it's a style.
That three spirit. You
That three
sure
spirit
this
is getting to him.
non-alcoholic?
Yeah.
I know, right? All of a sudden, we kind of. loosening up. Like
it is supposed to do something. You know what I mean?
Bringing back old stories.
Yo,
freestyling.
We might. Okay. Don't start because we might.
Josh about to start sipping. Like it's about to get crazy in here.
No, low key. I don't know if it's non-alcohol.
I don't know.
That.
Look, the thing
Too much cinnamon in here or something.
You know what? We're not talking about vocal tone. Fuck it. We're not talking about vocal tone. I got a couple more tour stories, and we're gonna get the fuck out. So, friends, if you want to hear about vocal tone, we're gonna have to have Chuck on the pod.
Yeah.
Yo, Annalisa said YouTube. Someone else's.
Not here. Someone else. Anybody else. Just not this
Anybody
show.
else.
Not this show.
Shout out Three Spirit.
Shout out Three Spirit.
Listen, all right. You want to hear one more tour story, and then get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, give us a good
Listen,
one.
Whatever y'all want to do.
But
we can't talk about it if you want.
Okay.
But the thing is, right? Like, we're just, one of the raison d'etre of this show for me is like I really want to it's the reason for being.
What does that mean?
It means the reason for being.
Okay,
right?
I was waiting
He reads
for
a
it.
lot.
I don't read as much as Safia.
Trying to catch up, man. Raisin.
Does that begin with the R?
Yeah,
How
R-A.
do
It's
you
like
spell
raisin
that?
with a
DJ X-Men. Let me stop.
Right.
But like it's like I want to inform. I want to ask questions. I want to interrogate the political situation, the spiritual situation. I want to inspire people to make shit because, alhamdulillah, bro, we get to make shit, bro. We are. I'm not gonna say our ages, but we are adults who get to still make shit and started making shit very young, And I think the reason why like the tour stuff is exciting to talk about, and again, it's not what I plan to talk about at all, but hearing your reaction, I'm like, okay, let me tell one more joint here because it's really about the fortitude of just showing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Showing up because so again, like I got it in my head. I was from like my third tour that I was like, I want to play LA. Right.
Period.
I'd never been to LA.
Yo, this kid had big dreams.
Yo, now we're here.
The guts are crazy.
And so what I told people, and I think I had like, I always could play New York. I could play, Tampa, Gainesville, the Carolinas. I used to play the Carolinas a lot. I used to play Atlanta, right? And then, Philly, Baltimore, New York, and then I had there was kind of like not much going on in between, but then when I played Minneapolis and then Iowa, right? And so if let's say I was playing like Iowa on the 1st, right? I was like, all right, well, I'm flying to LA afterwards, and I'm playing LA on the 8th. I didn't have a show in LA, but I was just telling people that I did, right?
Yo,
I was telling people in Iowa, and I did play Iowa a lot, you guys. Iowa City, I got lots in Iowa City. A lot of things happened to me in Iowa City.
Manifestation was crazy.
And so basically, I got tapped in with a promoter who was like, big in the Midwest, whatever, right? And so after
Soda in the Midwest.
Soda in the Midwest coming soon. So I had played the show. Here's the thing. You have to kill it every time. That's the other thing, right? You have to be ill live. So like, and my live set even then was crazy. I remember I would do this thing where I would like play Duke Ellington's In a Sentimental Mood and make everyone slow dance. And then I would interrupt it with Waka Flocka, and then I would like go crazy and then freestyle over that beat. And so it was like nuts. It was like I was over here trying to like anyway. So then after that show, I was dripping sweat, half naked, whatever, and I'm telling people like, yo, like, and I kind of started like making it sound like, the thing is that I think my LA show fell through. Kind of waiting for people to say something, and then one person's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna call Tumex. He has a show tomorrow in LA. Let me see if I can get you on the bill."
Crazy.
And so
shout
Freddie,
out Tumex.
look up Tumex. He's an incredible MC, and you know him. Okay. I thought he was just being
to one of his songs in middle school.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
So here's a Tumex story, right? So he was opening up for. Do you guys watch Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah, love that.
So
show.
do you know the song? There was this song. It was a big license.
He had a sync. He had a sync.
No. It was actually a different artist. This artist, a Chilean rapper named Ana Tijoux, who was like,
yes.
Okay,
blew up.
Yeah. Super blew up with a song on Breaking Bad, right?
Okay.
1966, right? So she was playing a huge venue. She was a big artist, playing a huge venue in Santa Ana, right? And Tumex was opening up for her. And so he was like, yo,
There's no way.
This is the...
There's
basically,
no
he was like,
way.
here was the venue green... He was like, I think he gave me the green room code or something. It was like, just tell him to show up before the local acts. Right, so I was the first person in the venue. Tumex wasn't even there. I don't even think I met Tumex, to be honest with you. I pull up and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" I'm here to play, right?
He was just
I'm in the green room.
What are they gonna do? Tell me no?
Yo,
I'm already here.
No,
why else is he in the green room? You know what I'm saying? And then here, apparently, there have been like, I felt kind of bad about this, but hey, you got, get it how you live. There have been like 10 local acts who've been promoting like the whole time, and I got to play after them. So it was the local acts, me,
so
Tumex, Anna Tiju.
So you opened up for Tumex.
Exactly.
So Anna Tiju and Tumex are on my resume to this day, right?
Dude, that's crazy.
And weirdly, I ended up later on. Actually, I don't know which, but I've opened up for Anna Tiju twice because I also opened up for Anna Tiju randomly. I think it was like her and Calle 13. Weirdly.
What?
I think it was. I'm trying to make this up. But in Philadelphia.
Calle 13.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh. Short story. I actually went partying. Never mind.
I bet no. Tell that story. It wasn't 3 Spirit that night. It was 1 Spirit.
Oh, it was definitely 1 Spirit that night.
Dude, what? That is something.
But again, it's about showing
so
up. Baby.
Latinos did they had you
Sometimes
in there.
we do spend our best.
Yeah, they had you in there.
So, speaking of Latinos, I made some arroz con pollo, and everyone's welcome to stay if you don't want afterward. No, I'm being so serious.
Rice and beans.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't eat chicken. I don't eat meat.
Okay. Well, why don't you drink some 3 Spirit, motherfucker, and get out of here. I got some carrots in the back for you.
I'm going to drink some 3 Spirit before I go because there's no alcohol.
There is no alcohol, but we are feeling good.
Listen,
40 calories, too.
Annalisa, part of me is like, should we do the freestyle?
No, I mean, I'm down. If I can read, because I don't remember half of like.
You got it?
I have it on me. I'm down.
Is there anything else, Chuck, before we get out of here that you want to tell the people? This is a freewheeling episode, but I think Josh is going to cut it together and make it spicy.
For sure.
Because Annalise, basically, here's the thing. My man DJ 100 Proof was supposed to be here today, and he had some work stuff come up, and we had initially, and let me just tell this for the audience and for ourselves, because, listen, here's an admission from Christopher, right? I don't want to have a podcast. I want to host late night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I have this vision.
Okay,
Actually,
I see.
y'all talk amongst yourself for 2 seconds. Tell y'all, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna grab something real quick. So y'all be interesting.
Chuck.
You wanted me to mention about my battle rapping.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
I grew up with closely with my friend group, from school, and we saw us play basketball at the park. One of my friends, LC, YFL LC, he came to me one day and was like, hey, you want to make some beats? And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but whatever. I go to his house. He has a drum pad, making beats. I'm like, oh, this is cool. What is this? He's like, well, this is how rappers get on the radio. And I was like, oh, I thought they just went to the studio and then got on the radio. And he's like, no, someone has to make the music. And so a summer goes by. I'm figuring out how to do things, and we're figuring it out. Then he goes, yo, Chuck, do you want to rap? And I said, what? No, I don't want to rap. He's like, come on, man, it's going to be fun. So we just start freestyling stuff. Then I come to find out LC's cousin was also a rapper, and he probably been a rapper 2 years longer than I decided to start rapping.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, cool. He's a rapper too. And
but you flamed all of them.
Not really. But LC was like, yo, it'd be funny if y'all had a rap battle. But me and his cousin were never at his house at the same time.
Okay.
So his cousin wrote this rap, and it was like all cool and whatnot. I came with a freestyle, and I only said one good bar. Don't ask me to repeat it. I don't remember.
Real.
I don't remember.
You do remember it. There's what.
All right, so
See?
All right. So I don't remember the whole bar.
Give it to us.
So his cousin was a part of a team called the Track Stars or Track Runners. No disrespect to anybody called Track Stars or Track Runners or Track anything.
Actually, I have a friend called DJ Trackstar from the Jewels.
Well, shout out Trackstar.
Shout out DJ Trackstar.
But I knew that he was from Track Blank, wherever it was. So I was on there and I was like, something straight off the dome. You from Track Stars, run your bitch ass home. And so that was LC's reaction. I dropped the mic. I was done. His cousin heard it. He was rolling. He was laughing. He got mad, dissed me back. I let it go because I didn't have no more bars for him.
Right.
But that experience led me into making more beats, led me into recording more, led me into wanting to go to LA recording school. So now, because I have that rap background that stemmed from that experience, I'm now able to get in with Chris and be like, yo, let's change that syllable
Made
to
you a
3
better
syllables
producer,
because now we can do this on the back end of that verse. And now I have a little bit more information I can share with you.
That's cool.
And, experiences like that led me to be able to work with different people in different, areas because I have that expertise. A second thing that I wanted to mention outside of the rapping thing was for the people who want to get started with making music, who don't have the technical jargon or aspect or the know-how in their brain. What I've done for artists is set them up with a tempo or a template.
Cool. Yes,
not
tempo, you're gonna send one to template.
Us. And so basically what the template is, I'll send you the file. You'll open it up in Logic or Pro Tools. You'll have all the tracks labeled, colors, everything's already there for you. And all you have to do is just record and drag it down.
Send it to us, literally.
Of course,
dude,
of course.
That's amazing. And what a gift.
Yeah. And so one of my good friends, Chubbs the Dreamer, who's a rapper who, that's enough. Can I tell you about Chubbs?
Please, yo, tell us about anything.
Okay, so get a template from me if you need a template. I'll explain to you later once you hit me up. Audio Chuck, AudioXuck. Chubbs the Dreamer. Okay.
Best episode yet.
So now, check this out. I'm working at BOE. I just got hired. I'm feeling good. I'm not really working with outside talent at this point. Right now, I'm focused on our talent. Everyone is coming through BOE's doors. I'm recording. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Chubbs follows me randomly on Instagram. So I'm like, okay, well, this is just another person following me. I'm not going to pay attention to it. But then I was like, let me see what his music sounds like. And I'm playing it, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Next song, that's better. Next song, that's better. Next song. Okay, hold on. I looked at the album, like the track count on YouTube. He had maybe 500 views, 400 views. I'm like, ain't no way this is a real person rapping like this, but only got 500 views. So I write him and I'm like, yo, I don't know if you meant to tag me in this, but we need to talk. Here's my number. When are you available? He calls me.
Energy.
And I'm like, yo. And I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for right here. I'm about to flex. So he calls me. I'm like, yo, I'm the recording engineer for Harmony Samuels, BOE. We just did Fantasia. We working on Michelle Williams. We're getting ready to do this and that. And he's just like, oh, word? Okay. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? How are you not getting plays? And he's like, well, it's just me. And I'm like, nah.
That's real.
And I was like, when was the last time you've been to LA? He's like, I've never been to LA. I said, okay.
You stay bringing people out here.
I said, okay, cool. That's good to know. Well, yo, check this out. Send me unreleased songs. Let's figure something out. We get off a call. I go to Harmony. Say, yo, this dude hit me up. He's crazy. I love his tone, his music. Like, he don't even cuss in his raps, and it sounds gutter. Like, yo, we got to talk to this dude. Fast forward. Chubbs ends up traveling to LA for the first time ever.
That's so cool.
And I'll let Chubbs tell these stories, but he got banged on 3 times and he blamed it on me. It wasn't my fault. I wasn't there. Well, I was there one of the times, but I didn't know it was happening.
What?
I didn't know it was happening. And I could tell that story too. But he came to LA. We had a meeting with Harmony. Unfortunately, Harmony didn't see the vision. But what happened was Chubbs needed a manager. My good friend Major, who's one of the artists that I recorded through BOE, in which I got we were nominated for a Grammy for. We didn't win, but it was nominated for Best R&B Song.
Yes.
The song.
But now you're a Grammy nominated artist.
Oh, I have it up at the studio. And so Major was getting ready to start his tour, and he needed an opener for Texas and one of the Carolinas, I believe. And I was like, yo. It was on YouTube and on Instagram. It's like, oh, if you want to be a performer, you have to follow this page and send this to this person, and I like the checklist of what to do. I sent him a text and said, yo, man, I have this artist, bro, you need him. And I sent the music. Who is this?
Right.
Where is he based? And I'm like, yo, he's in Florida.
We're in Florida.
I knew it.
Yo,
Florida gang.
I actually don't know.
From South Florida, I'm gonna claim it.
South Florida, sure.
I'm a claim.
All Florida is technically South Florida.
Come on, bro.
Chubbs the Dreamer, yes, in Florida.
Come on, he's
and so
South Florida.
he ends up opening for Major in both of those cities, ends up killing it. I'm not sure what happened outside of those performances, but he did walk away from those performances with a management team.
That's amazing.
And I was like, yo, mission accomplished. What else are we doing? Then we ended up doing a whole project together, put that out. Now he's coming back full circle, and he's one of the artists that I sent the template to because he wants to be working there all the time, but he doesn't have the technical aspects. So he's like, yo, Chuck, how can you help me from LA to record every day?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, let me send you a template. FaceTime me when you get in. I'll explain every knob, every color, the reason why that's there, the reason. 30 minutes later, he's recording his own songs.
You're just generous,
and he's never recorded a song before. I'm like, yo, this is what you need. When you're done, send me the files and I'll mix it for free. We'll figure out the money later.
You're generous.
But I mentioned Chubbs because that's a part of me bringing in and mixing people and talents and services, and because I know that I can only do so much, but if I can get that started, then I can get that started.
Eventually, y'all will meet again.
Right. Like my whole strategy has been to put the ball in someone else's court. So now that me and you are connected, I have to figure out a way to make you responsible for something. You know, because now when you're not working, the thing I had you do, you're now getting back to me like, oh, Chuck, I finally wrote to that one beat you sent me. I'm ready to record. All right, cool. Well, Chris ain't ready, so when you want to get in the we're in the booth, we're in the studio.
First of all, Chris is always ready. Zoom in on that.
Right. We're working on a song. Chris is doing his movie thing right now.
Yeah.
We're 3 months later, you're now getting ready to go on tour. Chris is like, yo, Chuck, bro, I finally listened to those beats, man. Yo, I got 3 songs I want to do.
Timing.
Now we're in the studio. You're getting ready to go on tour. Chubbs is hitting me up because he just finished his 3rd song. So now I have different things to do, but the idea is to continue to keep putting the ball in your court so that way you're responsible for something now. But it's connected to me, so now once you do it, you're going to let me know. And now I know, okay, what do I need to do next to put it back in your court?
You planted seeds.
Right. And I'm just waiting for you to return it. And if you don't, hey, cool, I got 20 more going.
Oh, man.
You're
smart.
Yeah, each artist, each songwriter, each producer, a guitar player, the guy behind the camera, each person that I meet, if they need something and I can assist, whether it's just, hey, here's someone I know that needs this done, can you help? I'll do it because I know that it goes further than me and
That's
eventually
so
comes back.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's like I got Annalisa to move to LA, right?
Oh, what? He said I'm surviving. It's okay.
No. This is the thing, right? It was like Annalisa came here once and we had a show. I don't know if I've told the story on the pod before, but like we had a show and we went to a gym because she needed to use the restroom. And while I went to make a phone call or something, she came back, and then the 2 guys who were there suddenly they bought tickets to the show, and then they became collaborators. And I was like, Annalisa, I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna make more money with you in town, so I need to import you. And I think that we've fulfilled the promise. I think we're already like, Annalisa has opened up so many doors for me being here, and I think that like,
same.
I appreciate that because it really is like, it's the friendship and collaboration is it's funny, there was some interview where like they asked Jay-Z if him and Eminem were friends, and Jay-Z was like, we made Renegades, we're friends. Yeah. So it's like, that's making something that you're proud of together, I think is part of how you jump into trust, right? So I want the thing I want to show you guys this thing real quick. So this is an audio and visual podcast, but what do you want? Is this over here?
There are 3 cameras.
There are 3 cameras, right? This is so when I said earlier, I was like, I don't want a podcast. I want to host late night, right? I have this. This is a Trader Joe's bag, right?
Because she's tripping. Yo, 3 spirits. We need 3 more.
John Brown, please send me some fucking money for this shit to get more. The other day, basically, I was sitting here, and here's the thing: a lot of people like don't, especially like immigrants and shit, like all my friends, like they don't really know what late night is. Like, why would I care about that, right? But the thing about late night is that late night started as a way to fill time on television. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's a live show. And so when I say that I don't want a podcast, I want to host late night, what I'm saying is that eventually I really want a weekly live show, right? And so, but I kept thinking, I was like, okay, like, how do I make, the reason when I started this podcast, right, I knew that it was going to be the Chris Gabo show, right? And that was like a branding exercise. But I was like, that's insane when you're not famous yet. You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't think so. You have to buy the ticket before anybody else does.
But just on a business tip, right? Most people who have like the Joe Budden podcast or the Danny Brown show, they're famous first, right?
Potato.
Hey, I appreciate it, right?
Was Academic famous before he started giving his opinion?
I wish Academic would be. No, anyway, beep, censor. Use the button. Yeah, exactly. But and I kept thinking like, okay, like, well, what is gonna make the thing different, right? And so I was like, okay, like, politics is really important to me, the spiritual is really important to me, and hip hop is really important to me, right? So I was like, okay, what I need to figure out is the structure. And the reason I work in Hollywood, well, is a couple of reasons. I'm a character guy, I'm a lyric guy, but really I'm a structure guy, right? So I was like, how would this work, right? So I didn't have a pen or a notebook at the time, so I cut this thing out of a Trader Joe's bag and found a Sharpie. And I was like, okay, let's break up 2 hours into chunks, right? What I was like, okay, well, first of all, I want to have a live band. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, we begin with a live music overture. And this is the thing that Ebony's been saying. She's like, we need to hear you rap and make beats and shit on the pod. It's the Chris Gabo show. Why aren't you doing that? And I was like a little nervous. And today we're going to break a little seal, right? We're going to do a little bit of that. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
But so I was like, okay, so 5-minute overture, live song, right? Then traditional, like late night, I want to do an opening monologue with jokes that I didn't write. I want there to be a room of 5 people being like, here's
Very
the thing.
Martin of you.
Well, yeah, but it's also like, that's Johnny Carson, that's Arsenio Hall, right? Yeah. Then, and this is how, like, to me, I'm like, there's your vegetables and then there's your dessert. You know what I'm saying? To me, the vegetables is like my political ideas, right? And so I'm like, okay, but I want to limit it, right? So I'm like, okay, when I said limit it, Annalisa went, yeah, limit that shit, bro.
Limit it.
So I'm like, okay,
you're a TV writer.
So you go, okay, overture, song. Then you go 10 minutes, jokes, topical monologues of the week, right? Then we're like, okay, my next guest is Norman Finkelstein. He's going to come on, 30 minutes interview, right? Then after that, you should read about him. He's a really dope thinker. Then I want to have a musical guest come on. So then I'll be like, now Annalisa comes on. She does Coco Badacha and another joint. And then I interview her a little bit about process. Because the thing that I'm like, Jimmy Fallon might interview Ariana Grande about like, when's the record coming out? What blah, blah, blah. But he's not going to ask her about like, what was your artistic process, right? And again, the Annalisa's performance and the interview that is inside of 30 minutes, right? And now here comes the thing that I think is super innovational, which is called the proving ground, right? And this is what we're gonna test out a little bit of it today. Annalisa, thank you so much for being a guinea pig. Basically, wait, hold on. I didn't. She was like, I don't like either of those words.
Hold on.
But thank you, though.
But listen, this is what the
Thank you.
Like, Chuck, get me out of here.
So
you drove, right? Okay, cool. I'm not taking the bus anymore.
So for people who aren't inside of hip hop culture, right? I'm going to explain something. There's a word that you might think you understand what it means, but you might not understand what it means, which is the word freestyle, right? Now, freestyle can mean a couple. In the traditional sense, it is literally off the dome, improvised, right? But because the proving ground for rappers, one of them is like these radio freestyles, right? What that really means is that I wrote a 5-minute verse, I go into Funk Flex or, High Off Life, and I rap it. You never hear it on any other record. And that exists on YouTube and the internet, and that's the freestyle, right?
Right.
So
right.
People will say, I'm writing a freestyle, right?
Yeah.
So now the proving ground, right? Which this is the thing that I think I want to implement even before I have a live show, is basically I want both. Because I love a written freestyle, and I also love to actually freestyle. Now, a lot of people don't want to actually freestyle. Well, I appreciate it, but it's also because it's super fun, right? And so basically my thing in the proving ground is that I want it to be a 30-minute segment with a live DJ. And again, DJ 100 Proof had work, but he was going to be here today. But thank God, because we're introducing a lot of new elements today. This shit is crazy today, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the idea is that Chris Gabo, the host, is going to battle rap all the rappers on the show, right?
Amazing.
And the way that it works is like, okay, so we have a coin, we flip a coin. Let's say that, again, I know that you don't... you're not taking that mantle today, right? But let's say it's like it's Chuck, Annalisa, Royce the 5'9". You know what I'm saying? And then me, right?
Royce won.
Wait a second. So then it's like you guys are essentially a team, and now I'm me, right? We flip a coin. Let's say it's heads. That was you guys. So you guys look heads. Okay, you huddle up. We're like, all right, are we gonna do our writtens first or our freestyles first, right? So everybody's gonna get the beat for the written in advance. They have a written, but they're also gonna freestyle to beats that they've never heard before, right? So the idea is that you guys huddle up and are like, all right, Chris is going to do blah, blah, blah. We should do freestyles first and then no, we should do writtens first. Okay, cool. Then you make a decision. So then you go, okay, we've decided we're going to do writtens first and then a freestyle, right? So we do that and we split it 15 minutes on each end, and that's the proving ground, right? I also would love to smoke weed in the theater for that one. Then afterwards, right, after that's done, then I really want to deliver a sermon, man. Like the spirituality is a really big part of my life.
Oh, wow.
And I want to end.
Run that back.
Exactly, right? So that you have comedic monologue at the beginning, sermon at the end, and then we end with a song. Mm-hmm. So to go over, it goes, the beginning would be live music overture, opening monologue. Chris interviews political guest. Then a musical guest performs. Chris interviews musical guest. Then you have the proving ground, which is Gabo, battling all the MCs that are there. It's a cipher, half written, half freestyle. Then there's a sermon kind of putting all together what you've heard today, then a song, and that would be the show. So I really, look, we're big like, if you dream it, you can do it kind of thing. So that's why I brought this fucking crazy piece of cardboard paper.
Totally.
Because that's really the ultimate aspiration of the show.
Can I just point out something?
Hell yeah.
He means business. Look how well this was cut out. There is no corner spared.
That's our friend right there.
He made straight lines.
Straight lines.
He even wrote neat.
There are dots. There are dots. Like, 20-minute.
He was
He
serious.
figured out the entire, all the segments.
Did your intern write this?
Nah, I don't have an intern right now.
How we don't have an intern now?
How you don't got an
That's
intern?
crazy.
Hey, if anyone wants to intern for the Chris Gabo show, you're welcome to. I'll teach you some shit.
I feel like we could get a couple interns.
Just
Inshallah. So, eventually the proving ground will go in the middle of the show. But right now, Annalise, I know you have a verse that you wrote. I made you write to a beat that you didn't want to write to.
No, you go first.
So why don't we do, we'll do our little verses to this. Maybe you want to freestyle for 2 seconds at the end, and then we'll
I could try.
All right, bet. So let me grab this beat real quick. This is an Alchemist beat off the new Action Bronson record that I like. Annalisa texted me and she was like, "So what made you pick this beat?"
Don't be saying that on air. I understood the intricacies. I feel like that's a word. Once I listened to it about 20 hours. Wait, I gotta get my phone.
Go get your phone. All right. Yo, it's Chris Gabo. We got Chuck. We got Josh Knows in the building. We got A to the V right now. Look. Yo. Look. Rose tinted stained glass replaced the windshield. The Sudanese hash got me spinning like a pinwheel. Catch me at the precinct, pissing on a cop car. Red MAGA hat made you look Allahu Akbar. Chris God will say my name when the clouds clear. Your girl gave me a Michelin star that's based on mouthfeel. Look, ain't no home field advantage, but out on Dykeman they like I don't know, he's some kind of Spanish. Me dicen ese niño con palabras bien lindísimo. Cara de árabe con espada de indio. Stuff for the love, but I can show you what the sinners know. My down south partners be like, yeah, that boy, he finna blow. Complicado la cosa. Hit Jackson Heights for the doser. They can't send me a sposa. We paint vandals, put my face on the poster. Cause baby, sometimes when you pop and shit looks how it's supposed to.
Unrequited love is like no money in the bank. Get your pesos up and then you will be worth the same. I sit in silence, nobody want the truth. Ghetto violence, they want it in the booth. Pens are broken and cultures are stolen. La música en español, cause that's what's golden. Speak and span deportations, it's boring. Free name of country here, now I'm exploring. Inshallah, break bread over iftar. Burn the chocolate in this bitch, yeah, I got bars. Oh my god, can we even say that? Is that offensive too? Run the playback, sipping tea very quietly, watching how Hollywood moves. It's inspiring, pimping out my talent. 10,000 ain't enough. Sold me a dream, 0 bankrupt. Waiting on the cavalry. Yes, I'm a damsel in distress. Said they never come for me, they can't find my address. Pity me, pobrecita la nena. Richer than you think, plenty, bomba y plena. Before you cop my shit, take my IPI. Brain Chronicles, no AI. Chat GPT, my flow is so NSYNC, baby.
Whoa!
She said, take my IPI.
Yo!
Take my IPI.
Take my IPI. She means business.
Make sure I get that.
That's what I'm saying, my
Yo,
royalties.
Chuck. Okay, so why don't can you pick a beat, someone else's beat, and we'll freestyle real quick and we'll end on that.
Okay.
This way we can contribute. So we got YouTube. Just pick anything right here. Annalisa, yo, come on. You killed that shit, bro.
Yeah, I want it to be memorized, but
No,
I
but it's
basically
okay.
wrote it today.
Here's the thing, bro. I have a rule for when I show Safia something. I'm like, yo, I get to do it once over the beat, and then I get to do it once where I talk through my bars with no beat so that you hear all the punchlines. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Yeah.
Rose tinted stained glass replace the windshield. How are we doing here?
So I'm a huge lover of some West Coast shit. So y'all
Hell
got
yeah.
to rap on some West Coast shit. It's
All
okay.
right. This is
Have fun.
East Siders
It should
love
be
it.
easy. It should be easy for y'all.
Let's hear it. Okay. All right. Look. You starting it off?
I don't know. Let me just give me a minute. Go ahead.
I don't know. Yo no sabe. Yes, I am hot like wasabi. Problem, yeah, they're trying to solve me. But they couldn't even call me on FaceTime when we recording. Yes, and I'm not getting deported cause I had that blue passport. Shit, that is a privilege. Oh yes, I do it and I motherfucking live this.
West Coast ain't boring. Yes, I'm snoring. Annalisa up in this bitch, now we touring. Pass me the mic, I'm about to sell these tickets. We are eyed. 3 Spirit, we got that money. Yeah, so don't come for me. I'm an actress and I'm a writer. Come sell my stuff.
And your friend is a biter.
He's a biter.
Little lighter. Put the Vicks in the sky, it's an anthem. Yes, goddamn Gabo, he is handsome. That's what your mom said. Don't get so hands off, Papi Chulo. Yeah, how I do it like Uno. That's the one card game that I can't play. Don't ask me to play spades, I'll be bad every day.
I don't play chess, I don't play chess. Yes, I play chess with the harness. Double A's in the building. Double A's, now we feeling. Don't grab my
pussy grabber on the mic, that's not me. That's my girl to the right, okay? We don't like Trump, that's not what I said it. But yes, you better not forget it, cause I will do it backwards. Like I can't say the bad words cause I had to get the pant. Ooh yeah, spank me in Dutch, give me in clap. That is so clutch cause I speak too many languages. How I'm handling this, like I do it like the business. ATB Studios, that's where we going next.
Inshallah, hamdallah, hamdallah. We break if talk, hamdallah, hamdallah. I'ma get a habibi, yeah, we running Annalisa V, it's a stunning
you so stunning I know that I have to get running cause I need to lose like 10 pounds by summer. Yes, I wanna be that stunner. I wanna be so high I could do gay ads like to exist. That's how I paid for it. Yes, and I'm not even sarcastic. Bisexual rapper, that's queer praxis. I am so sarcastic, can't do it like Robert De Niro. And I'm counting De Niro. That's a midnight run. Lose weight, call me Little Pun.
Little Pun, little man. Yo, you looking like a stand with this mic in your hand.
Dear Slim. Welcome to the Proving Ground Part 1, and the beat's not done. We just doing this for
fun.
Yes.
Fun.
Shits and giggles. Oh yeah, they had to call me Mr. Wiggles, cause that's what they said in that Ludacris song from back in the day. I wore a thong, but I couldn't put it on TV, so sing along. Paint my ass cheeks blue. You can find that if you had to go, dude. Type me up into YouTube or Facebook. Oh yeah, I knew that I had to get took.
Bust down, looking like a touchdown. Woo! Bust down, looking like a touchdown.
Bust down, looking like a touchdown. LAX, that's right when I touch ground. Burbank if I'm lazy. On the mic and you know I get crazy. And the bloods they get crazy, but that's not me. Please do not try to tase me. I don't know nothing about gang shit.
Three Spirit. 3 fingers up.
So yeah,
3 fingers up. 3 Spirit. 3 fingers up.
Yo, Annalisa's gonna get us so paid, bro.
That's what she's here for.
Yeah.
We're literally.
What she's here for. You can make me money? Come to LA. I need an intern. I'm only 8, but I need an intern.
Yo, I really need an intern. Knocks up how the fist burn. And I'm pissing in the cistern. Sistine Chapel. Don't say that. That is shit. Grr. Okay, fuck you. Listen, this has been episode 18 of the Chris Gabo Show. That was Proving Ground Volume 1. Thank you for inaugurating it. The Arroz con Pollo's on the stove. We got Chuck Dixon, Annalisa Velez, and Josh Knows on the camera. Thank you so much for looking at us. Peace. Shout out 3 Spirits because we drinking it and they paying me for it.